Hey guys, Nick Watroba here. Commish, Nick Ricky in the house.
Mayor McCheese here.
I've got him here. We got 10 minutes on the clock. We're gonna try to talk about everybody's team, recap the draft. Awesome day. Thanks to the fellows who made it out. I am generally disappointed in the guys who didn't make it, but I understand and I appreciate you having in the league. So let's grow together, let's bond together, let's get you to the draft next year just because life is better if you can.
Yeah, Aiken wants stickers next year. No more online draft. It might be his rule. I'm strongly considering it. So let's book this now.
Treboilet Bowl, by the way. So anyway, Nick Ricky, so we had the draft at your place last Sunday. So we have 4 days till kickoff, 3 days to kick off because it's Labor Day today.
Labor Day, Monday night here. We're doing this last Monday night without football for a while. So Monday nights are great. Finish off the week, win or lose. Time for big comebacks or big disappointments.
Either way, been thinking about your teams. I want to make a trade. Do you want to make a trade? Send me a trade. I'll send you a trade. Let's trade.
Trades are good. Trades.
Yeah. Let's hit the teams, Nick.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm looking round one.
Yeah.
I got to the draft at 1 o'clock. Draft was at 3:30 or something like that. I played mental warfare for the entire time. I had Luke convinced that I was in love with Aaron Rodgers. And none of it mattered. I had the 12th pick. I could sell anything I could sell, and they could tell me anything, and there was nothing I could do about it. So, I had some inner confidences with some of you. I remember.
Yeah, there was a little gamemanship too with the first pick though. Sal was feeding Jake some info weeks prior to the draft, claiming he was big on Sean McCoy, maybe Lev Bell. Said how much he hated Adrian Peterson. And we're talking about Jake right before the draft. He had his eyes on AP. He was pretty confident he was going to get him, but Sal tried to pull a fast one on him. I don't know if it really
And lucky
worked,
for Jake, because fucking Adrian Peterson is a douchebag, and you don't want to root for him. And you know what? He's fucking 30 years old and he's going to suck. So fuck off. Jamal Charles is going to score 6 touchdowns one night. It's going to be dynamite.
6? That's a lot.
Yeah, I believe that that's what he does. It's the Redskins with their tall socks. What they do, they score 6 touchdowns at a time.
All right, so first pick, Sal, AP, pretty strong pick. Pretty hard to mess up that first pick. Unless, of course, he whips his kid and gets suspended for the year again, but what are you going to do? Then he went Saints heavy, which is a huge shock coming from Luke Salvatore.
Get who you want.
We want Brandon Cooks and Drew Brees. I'm a Cooks fan. How about you? I like to cook.
A little bit of a reach with Cook for me.
Yeah. You want Jonathan Stewart, The Daily Show, who's retired, I thought, but coming out this year in the 4th round. I've never been a big J. Stu fan, and probably will not be a big J. Stu fan ever.
Yeah, that's what I guess.
So Sal's team is AP, Cooks, Breeze, Jonathan Stewart, Golden Tate, Mike Wallace, Sammy Watkins. What do you think of those 3 receivers there? Tate, Watkins, and Wallace.
Yeah, that's what I guess it goes to show you how thin wide receiver got in our league when we got to the last pick in the 2nd round. For Cooks to be there, it feels like a reach. Like there's better players out there. Exactly. Russell Wilson goes in 4 picks after this, so he takes Cooks and Breeze, which I like. Isn't your fear with Cooks that his health?
Yeah, going ahead of Alshon Jeffrey. Luke's first round pick from last year, I believe, Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, that's what I don't. When you,
I wouldn't have taken Graham there either, but
would you? Well, there's some. I guess I trust Jimmy Graham there a little better than I trust Cook, but if there is such a high priority on wide receivers, in this kind of market,
Cobb and Jordan Matthews are still available too. But that's
a
reach.
No, but he wasn't gonna get any of them back. But it's just saying, what could he? Latavius Murray goes for, against that round of Melvin Gordon. Yeah. Do you believe in Melvin Gordon this year?
I liked him out of college, University. I don't even know. I was gonna say Georgia, but that's Gurley.
Yeah, I think it's, but I think it is a big.
He was a good player in college. Things I heard out of camp weren't the greatest, but the guy looks amazing. He's jacked. Gets the open field, a little Shady McCoy, a little AP.
Yeah.
going to be good down the road. How's it going to be this year? Not quite sure. I'm sure we'll find out in a few days, though. What other picks you like from Sal?
So looking at Sal's team, so Cooks to Breeze, he's got somewhat of a connection there. Jonathan Stewart, let's hope that the last 3 or 4 weeks of last year picked up. You've just always been concerned about that Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams issue.
Yep. It's not there anymore.
And didn't they just drafted I think a pretty hot rookie?
Yeah. Curtis Artis Payne.
He's got 3 names.
Yep, 3 names.
So what's this guy going to do? We know they do share the ball, so that could either be a huge pick. This guy came out and he was number 1 running back. In the fantasy world, points production wise, worth it last year. But all of a sudden, you throw this rookie in the mix. Are they going to go back to the old way? Or are you going to get him? So
I don't know. They don't have a lot of weapons down there in Carolina.
That's it. A lot of Flyers. I've last year bought into the security of Cam Newton in one of my fantasy leagues.
How'd that work out for you?
It didn't pay off. He was still at. I have no idea what number QB was, but he was a top 15 quarterback. So it wasn't the worst pick that I ever made in something.
Right, but you didn't even take Cam Newton. Why are you talking about Cam Newton?
Because of the Carolina offense.
Okay.
And so, Ian just, I guess, related to Cam Newton. Now, wouldn't have talked about Cam Newton later. Okay. Or they would have known how I felt. But yeah, so Cam Newton was, I guess, this year I think Cam Newton's fully healthy.
Yeah.
So I think just in general that whole Carolina offense is going to be better. I think, I've seen a lot of...
Never been very impressed with Carolina's offense.
Yeah, that's why. I don't think that he throws the most accurate of passes, but he can throw the ball long, he can throw the ball short, he can throw the ball across the field, and I think these wide receivers are going to be able to team up to move the ball well enough. So I
that's enough for Jay Stu there, Sal. Anybody you like late on Sal's team? Vernon Davis, is he still in the league? Yeah. Michael Crabtree, I kind of like. Phil Dorsett.
Isaiah Crowell in the ninth round.
Yeah, starting running back.
Starting running back.
Yeah, that would have been a nice pick for Scotty there instead of taking Houston's D, but we'll get that later.
Hey, Jarek McKinnon, you never know if AP goes down. That's always a gamble in there.
Unless Matt Asiatis shows up and starts scoring 3 touchdowns a week, which he's been known to do.
Let's see. So Sal is starting Brandon Cooks and Golden Tate at wide receiver.
Wallace.
And who's he going to start at?
RB2?
RB2 and the flex position.
Well, probably Wallace at flex. Wallace or Watkins at flex. And he's probably going to start Mason or Crowell at RB2. Maybe he throws one of those guys in the flex. And Vernon Davis at tight end is a huge question mark.
Yeah, exactly. And just throwing a flyer out there for anyone playing the weekly DraftKings leagues, the Ruben Randall. I've heard from a couple people that he could have a good week 1. Everyone comes out focused on Beckham and
Rube.
Just throw it out there. To you. From me to you.
Looks like Sal's picked up Richard Rodgers since the draft. Green Bay tight end.
Oh, nice call. Nice call.
All right, Mondo Vision at the second pick. After the little prank Sal played on him, I was taping Jake. We'll play a little later. But, Jake wasn't too happy. But, hey, he has Jamal Charles. Ooh, he's not going to win the league because he has Jamal Charles on the team. Jake went with those young guys. He's got Charles, is a little old, but Hopkins and Murray and Gurley and Bernard, all young players.
Love it. I think I love every one of Jake's picks until Kenny Stills.
Wow, so that's way down.
And the only reason I don't love for Kenny Stills is I have so many goddamn Dolphins on my team that I need my guys to produce and not Kenny Stills on the Dolphins. But I fully believe in the Dolphins' offense.
Jake's got Devontae Parker. You could cut into your boy, whatever his name is, Landry down there.
Landry. Landry, that's it.
High round draft pick.
That's it. This guy is...
Jake likes him. He's going to take a little flyer on him.
Going to come in, squirrel these long touchdowns.
11th round.
My guy's more of a possession guy,
Yeah.
So my thought was for your league, you get a half point for the...
No, you don't. For a first down?
For the first down. You know, I'm getting, maybe 2 points a game from Landry. That's 4. Maybe he has 10 catches.
That's thinking.
4 of them might be.
That sounds like the thoughts of a champion right there. By the way, we are seeing next to greatness here, the defending champ of Sunday Funday. So
thank you, Tom Brady.
Meant to mention that at the top, but that guy's free. This guy's happy.
No, really. Did anyone ever think that I would win the league? We used to do this league in person.
Did anybody think that Brady was going to get suspended for 4 games?
And you all used to look at me in person, and no one thought I should win the league.
Back to Jake's team here.
Jamal
Charles and Murray as running backs. Solid 1, solid 2.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger, very underrated guy I was targeting when I didn't know Rodgers was going to be available for me in the second round.
Picks up in the 8th round, Martavis Bryant.
Yep.
4 weeks, going to be able to pair that with Roethlisberger.
Big Ryan Matthews this year.
Awesome pick. 8th round pick. Are you kidding me?
Big Ryan Matthews.
I take Martavis Bryant over Brandon Cooks.
I told Jake I want Ryan Matthews. He said he wants Le'Veon Bell. So I don't know if that's going to work out. I know it wasn't straight up Jake, but I do like Matthews though.
Has the fun of the Todd Gurley random pick, like this rookie supposedly supposed to be awesome.
Gurley could score, be a top 10 running back, or he could not play a game.
But in the 5th round, you're not relying on him. You have a very well thought out team, and then I loved Gio Bernard. Last year I took him in the first rounder. I might have reached for him there, especially with his injury. But this year I think Gio's going to bounce back and get 10 touches a game. I think he's going to get to start 4 games this year. I think he's going to end up easily a top 20 running back.
Jake actually went 5 running backs with his first 7 picks, so very running back heavy, and then went all wide receivers and tight ends after that. So a nice little strategy from Jake.
Daniels,
strong QB.
You have Peyton Manning's tight end all of a sudden. Are you kidding me?
I like that one a lot.
That's a fucking dick pick in the fucking 10th round. Peyton Manning's tight end in the 10th round.
Trophy's big on your draft, Jake. I'm not big on Moncrief this year. I think he's great talent. I don't think he's going to do anything.
Don't care. Andrew Luck going to throw 47 touchdown passes this year. Moncrief's going to catch 6 of them. Thank you.
All right, on to K-Fly, a.k.a. Down a Chicklet. You guys missed an epic performance from Kevin at the draft. He's the second one to show up. Got there with his magazine and his dad's tablet. Was snooping around on his dad's tabs. I'll let him tell that story. Make sure you ask him about it next time you see him, though.
AshlandMedicine.com.
No. But yeah, his Kevin's draft was a little interesting. We can talk about a lot of players for the draft. When it was me, Troby, and Kevin for a good half hour, 40 minutes. But he looked over his magazine, and the only thing he really questioned, and maybe he was just planting a seed, but you remember this, Trobe? Remember the one player he was talking about? I was like, how come this guy's going to the second round?
Justin Forsett.
And who did Kevin take in the second round?
Justin Forsett.
Yes. It seemed like Kevin got a little flustered when it came back to him at that pick. Like he didn't know it was coming. He was giggling. He kind of gave the Kevin thing he does. And, well, give me this guy.
That Kevin thing he does?
And then after the draft was the all-time, let's say, top 10 Kevin performance, probably top 3 on camera. I caught the tail end of it, so I'll try to post that video as well. But Kevin sustained a little bit of an injury after the draft. The injuries are still waiting on the injury report. But Kevin, we're all thinking of you, and prayers go out to you, and I hope the Tooth Fairy is good to you. So Kevin went Marshawn Lynch and Justin Forsett, top 2 picks, and then Alshon Jeffrey. So solid first 3 picks there. What with the big hot sleeper Amir Abdullah here in the 4th round. Guy definitely on my draft board, but definitely not in the 4th round. So. And then he went.
Always tough with the Joik Bell mixture in Detroit.
Yeah, Joik is tough, and then there's another kid, Zenner, another rookie running back who's supposed to be pretty good. Kevin went with a tight end who I've heard referred to as Zeus, Travis Kelce, who I like a lot. Pretty sure Jake had him pretty high on his board. And then he got Tony Romo, so he's riding the Romo coaster this year. So good luck with that, Kev. You've always kind of been a Brady and Luck kind of guy. I guess this year it's Romo. So have fun rooting for the Cowboys. It's not that fun, really. I think you got Julian Edelman, Ronnie Hillman, Shane Vereen, Kendall Wright. I like Kendall Wright a lot this year. I think he's going to be one of the only guys getting the ball down in Tennessee with Mariota. Pierre Garcon. And then in the 12th round, Kevin lost focus a little again and just drafted a guy based on the last name, Beckham. He asked Jay if it was related to Odell. And we all kind of laughed at him, but I have heard some pretty good things about him. I guess the guy's a monster. He's like 6'8". He can jump. Could be a future star. I don't know if it's going to be this year. I don't know if he's going to be out of the league in 3 weeks. But, hey, he took a reach, took a flyer, and we'll see how that works out for him. Kevin, towards the end of the draft, tends to just go lots of Patriots. And, of course, again with Brandon LaFell in the 13th round. And then I thought Kevin's best pick the whole draft was in the 14th round of Teddy Bridgewater. I think that was a steal. I think he's going to probably be starting him most of the year over Romo.
No.
But knowing Kevin, he'll have Bridgewater on the bench, lighting people up.
Who is Bridgewater? Charles Johnson?
Who, Teddy Bridgewater?
Yeah.
Charles Johnson, Greg Jennings guy.
Oh, yeah, Greg Jennings.
Cordarrelle Patterson.
I am as fast as Greg Jennings.
Former 4th round draft pick of one commissioner last year in the Sunday Funday draft.
Yeah, that's the flyer.
And hey, you look at his numbers late in the year. He was just as good as anybody else in the league. Especially a little progression out of him this year. And
Cordarrelle Patterson?
Yeah, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Just because this guy's got Andrew Luck, he's a great quarterback. I think my quarterback's probably better than his this year. So there.
I hope it's close.
Who's your favorite pick on Kevin's team there?
Kevin's team. So Marshawn, lock it up. Give me my Skittles. Alshon Jeffrey in the 3rd round. I think you got a first round talent that's either gonna perform like a first round talent, or I think you got a 6th round, result with the 3rd round pick, which isn't that bad. Like you'd only at worst you're gonna lose. Like he's gonna put up some numbers this year. Health's the big concern, but you have no Brandon Marshall in Chicago.
Eddie Royal's there.
Exactly, they have Eddie Royal, and I think they have a pretty good rookie wide receiver out there.
He's playing this year.
Is he hurt? Yeah. He's gonna huck it up there for 25 to 30 touchdowns. Like, it's not a question. So, Bears football, I think, is just going to be more Bears football. I don't think it's going to change.
Yeah. Hey, good luck, Kev.
So, so love Alshon Jeffrey. Love the Kelsey pick. Tony Romo, 6th round. You got good players. Ronnie Hillman, get that back up. Love it. Perfect. I think that's a very deep team. Shane Vereen, I'd take that flyer. He's free in another league of mine. He shouldn't be. Like, the guy is going to score 6 touchdowns this year. Other than that, crappy fantasy football teams. Good job, Cav. I like it.
On to the Sunseed Choir. Guys.
I would like to officially call the some kind of seed choir. I'll have to think of it.
So the Sunseed Choir. If you guys aren't familiar, I would highly suggest Googling "Jesus is a Friend of Mine" by the Sunseed Choir. It's Videomatic, much better than what you're watching right now, but it's definitely worth a laugh, and you'll probably be more informed as the inside joke. So, Sunseed Choir, Scott Reed, 4th pick overall, LaShawn McCoy. Scotty's always been a little reminiscent, always wanted to go back, to the high school days. Scotty is the senior member of the league. LaShawn McCoy, 4th overall pick, I think is a little bit of a reach. I think Shady's past his prime. I could be wrong. He could be getting the ball 40 times a game in Buffalo, but not a big fan of the McCoy pick there. Actually, I was a huge fan of it because it helped slide Le'Veon Bell down to me at the 7th pick. So, and then another pick I'm not very impressed with is Doug Martin in the 3rd round. He probably would have gone the 6th or 7th round. But McCoy, T.Y. Hilton, Doug Martin, Amari Cooper, Peyton Manning. I like the Manning pick in the 5th round. Always get good returns from him. But then, one of the other worst picks of the draft, you got a couple of them here, Scotty, but Houston defense in the 9th round guy. I really didn't change much of the scoring this year. I don't know if you thought that if J.J. Watt was catching touchdowns, lining up at a tight end, like those do not go to the defense. So I really hope that you weren't.
It's
playing
a
with
hard knock life.
I don't know if you got bumped off or it was like bottom of the seventh in the kickball game or what.
Dude, I got HBO too.
But yeah, not a good pick there in the.
I really
eighth
have
round.
HBO 1, HBO 2, HBO 3, HBO West.
HBO Go over here
Go.
or HBO Now.
Now. All of the HBOs, really.
And then again, he followed up with Carolina in the last round. So Carolina's a nice D. That's a nice pick. Too bad he wasted an 8th round pick on your defense.
I think he has one of the more solid teams. I think he was good for the exact draft. And all of his first 7 or 8 picks, whatever it takes to fill out the full roster, is full.
Yeah.
He has 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. I like Amari Cooper, getting him in the 4th round. I hate the fact that he's on the Raiders. I would never own him before he actually produces. But just in terms of what I've heard about people just being like, and once again, it's the Raiders having that sick athletic ability that just allows you to do crazy stuff. If I wanted to take a flyer on him this year, I just never got him in the right round at the right value. Didn't cross my path, But so with that being said, he has a high upside wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
And then he has Martellus Bennett, gonna score 5 touchdowns in the month of September. You should trade him, Scotty, right at the end of September. I heard that on ESPN.
You're not a company man. Could you read me off the number of running backs that Scott Reed has on his team?
1, 2, 3. 3.
It's not a lot, man. You're going to need a few more than that.
That's what the waiver wire is for. It changes every week. You're picking up all these backups. I'm not against that strategy.
The
Steve
zero
Smith,
RB running back strategy is not mean.
Steve Smith filling out. Is he gonna? Who's his? So he's got a chance to have Steve Smith be his flex position, Bishop Sankey be his flex position, Torrey Smith. I don't love your flex positions.
You're gonna have some bye weeks.
You gotta have a little waiver wire help here.
And have some injuries.
Yeah.
And Bishop Sankey's no guarantee, man. He had 400 yards last year.
So a few
running backs.
Few question marks, but you went for just to fill out that squad. We saw what you did. Hopefully the defense pays off for you. And just history says that it doesn't. I don't know.
Do you think Cooper was drafting for him here?
Who?
Cooper, the youngest of the Reeds. Hey, if that's the case, that's cool because he probably did a little better than you would have, Scotty.
There really is a younger Reed.
It's Cooper Reed, Scotty's son.
Oh, that's Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I love
Jack.
Cooper. I know Cooper. Oh,
You
Jack.
know Jack.
I know Jack. I still see Cooper.
Yeah.
What's up, Coop? I'm down, Coop.
Keep your head up, Coop.
I thought you were saying a Cooper Reed.
Like a Manning brother?
Like a Manning brother, but it was reversing it and putting it at the bottom instead of the top.
That's awesome. All right, Inky's All-Stars 2015. Inky, how you doing, buddy? So I did a little draft prep, just so you know, guys. I printed off everybody's team, kind of like that, real small. But I put little green check marks next to every draft pick that I really liked. And Inky, you got the most check marks, man. Besides my team, of course. But Eddie Lacy, AJ Green.
Yahoo gave me the most check marks, by the way.
Jimmy Graham, Devontae Adams, I think is a steal. Chris
Love it.
Ivory, great pick.
Love it.
Eli Man thing, I don't never been a big fan. I know
6th
some
round.
people in the league like him.
Bombs.
I think he's gonna have a good year. John Brown, a guy I really like this year. Charles Johnson, that's the other guy Bridgewater's throwing to, by the way.
That's right. I brought him up. Already dropped his name.
And then you got Julius Thomas, who's
Commemorate,
broke his hand. He's gonna be out for a few weeks, so should probably drop him from the roster. Luke, grab somebody else, but. Woodhead, Jay Cutler, decent backup to pair with Manning. I don't really like either of those guys, but I think Manning will have a decent enough year. Colston, Michael Dwyer, I don't really know who that is. I think he used to be on Pittsburgh, but now he's on the Raiders.
You said Michael Dyer's name, instead of just talking for 2 minutes about AJ Green and how he's in a contract year. And how
AJ, I think he's going to have a big year.
His quarterback is
red rifle
literally chokes under pressure. And it's truth. But I do, probably all of us do just because of where we are in our lives, but maybe you don't. Jay Reed maybe doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, there's people, there's people
Jerry chokes in life. Don't want to fool.
I respect, but just he is a really talented player in a contract year in an offense and a team that I think is going to be very good for him.
20th overall pick. I think it's a.
I wanted him.
Pick.
In a mock draft that morning, I took him with my 12th pick in the first round. I didn't like the way my team filled out at that point in time, but I think right there, I'm throwing that out to
AJ, big year. Listen to this guy's saying.
That's it. But then, yeah, Jimmy Graham, lock it up. Get yourself in the top 5 tight end game. You don't even got to question it. Devontae Adams, injuries, who knows what's going to happen. We know Rodgers is nasty. But, yeah, like you said, I think every one of those guys is a green checkmark guy. You read the same stuff we read, and we like your slot in the draft. So keep it up, Luke.
Nice draft, Luke.
Moving up.
Fuck you. Was that like a fish reference? Like I think it's pretty clever if it is, but I don't think you're that clever. But who knows?
Isn't it an Asian guy reference?
Yeah, probably. But with all the fish fans in the league, who knows? Antonio Brown, I love the guy. I was kind of hoping he would follow me. He snagged him right before my pick. Fortunately enough for me, Le'Veon Bell was still available, so it was kind of worked out for both of us, I guess. But Antonio Brown, love that pick. Matt Forte, yeah. He's very consistent, very steady. I had him more as like a 4th round pick this year on my board, but what do I know? I barely get to playoffs every year. A lot of receptions from him. Frank Gore, I like that pick a lot. I was really hoping he was going to follow me with the next pick, but grabbed him there. Big on Frank Gore this year, that Indy offense. And then, kind of the wheels fell off, as they usually do for the Reeds. Brandon Marshall, Rashad Jennings, Vincent Jackson, Jason Witten, Victor Cruz. 2 Giants there and a Jet. Along with Vincent Jackson. I've owned him the last couple of years. He has good games, but he just constantly disappoints you. He'll have 23 targets and 7 catches and 90 yards and 3 drops in the end zone. So hopefully it turns around this year for you, but not big on Vincent Jackson. Witten could be all right. Victor Cruz.
No, Witten's going to suck. Witten always sucks. You don't want Witten on your team. Nothing about having Witten on your team.
He's good for like 600 yards.
He's good for nothing. He's good for nothing. You're better playing the upside every week, because if you played the upside every week and just got minimal results, it's going to equal Jason Witten.
Well, he does have some upside with his 15th round pick. Yeah, have you seen who that is yet?
No.
I want you to take a look. Trent Richardson.
Look, guy was a first-round talent 3 years ago. In the 15th round of this fantasy league draft, we took a chance on Trent Richardson hitting with the Raiders. No brainer.
Because lots of people hit it with the Raiders.
Whatever. I think that I'm just saying. I think that Jay Reed strength in this league is the 15th round of our draft. I don't. That's not what that's not what I signed up to play with. I do think that he fucking calls out guys in the 3rd round who I think are 8th round talents who produce like 2nd round talents, and I say, because it's everything I read says that shouldn't happen. Everything I think says it shouldn't happen. But this guy does that every year, and he sneaks his way in and has enough fun with it. So good on you. I say take it to you, Rich, because who else are you gonna take? Some no-name guy that's gonna get cut because he has concussions from Cleveland? Fuck you, Duke.
He's going Nick Foles and Phillip Rivers at quarterback. Took Rivers in the 9th round and Foles in the 14th. Decent combo. I think Foles, he could have a good year if Chip Kelly goes to Kansas City, starts coaching over there, or wherever he is, St. Louis. Rivers had a really good year last year at the beginning, kind of faded away. But, 10th round CNLD, that will carry you, Reed. I'm sure it will.
I think Reader's definitely a guy. He needs his stars to step up. If Antonio Brown is a top 3 wide receiver, Matt Forte is a top 5 running back, Frank Gore sneaks up into the top 10, and Brandon Marshall is a top 23 wide receiver, Jay Reed is more than competitive. That's a lot of things that he needs at once, but it's not impossible. So, hey, well, you got to play the game.
We all know J. Reed likes to trade a lot and make a lot of moves on the waiver wire. So
Don't send me offers for Winton because he is so bad that you should drop him and start nobody in his space just to not have him on your team.
And then, up next, Mayor McCheese. Every year I come out of the draft, I love my team, but this year, I love my team. Le'Veon Bell fell to me, the 7th overall pick, and then Rodgers came back to me. How awesome is that? I thought I had both those guys pegged as first rounders, and especially in this league. When that 3rd pick came around, though, Trove, I froze up. I had Reno Cobb in my queue. I knew he got hurt the night before in a game, and I went on Twitter to try to find out if there's any last-minute info. And the clock was ticking down, beep, beep, beep. And I kind of froze, and I switched over to Jordan Matthews real quick. And I've been kicking myself ever since the draft. I wish I had taken Cobb there. And I know he fell to you, so I know you were pretty happy about it. But
I was very happy about it, but you mean you got the young, fastest receiver on the hottest offense in the history of football, possibly? Not that they've done it yet, but just what we expect out of Chip Kelly.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
What's early drafting about? It's about more than taking a sure thing, right?
Believe me, I went Carlos Hyde in the 4th round, and
I think that's a way worse pick.
that was the worst pick of my draft.
Yeah.
But I made up for it in the 5th with Arian Foster, who reports say he might only miss the first two weeks, possibly the first 3.
No, so let's look at the 3 picks right. So you took Carlos Hyde in the 4th round, just because we have it here. So I actually asked you a question. Emmanuel Sanders went next. 40.
No, Marshall went next.
I'm sorry, I got to
And
look
then
at it.
Adams.
So hard. Oh, because we're going this direction?
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, so you took Carlos Hyde.
Yeah.
You could have taken Brandon Marshall, Devontae Adams,
That was the other guy I wish I had taken.
Amari Cooper.
I would like him. But my thinking was I had Le'Veon Bell, who's missing the first 2 weeks no matter what.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to take Foster the next round.
Yeah.
Who's going to miss 2 to 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And
Trade me Hyde. I think that's the easiest.
well, I
solution.
have Hyde. He's definitely on the market. So anybody that wants him,
I do.
he's going to be the focal point of that 49ers offense
No,
for
he's
sure.
not.
Who's going to be?
I don't know, but for some
Name
reason,
another offensive player on 49ers skill position besides Kaepernick.
I thought that's why you drafted him in the 4th round.
I did. I like him a lot. I say he's the only guy in that offense. But I have Foster.
So why don't you like that pick then?
Because I wish I had taken Devontae Adams
You wish you had the
or Amari Cooper.
second. You wish you had locked up 2 wide receivers before 2 running backs.
Yes, because the way my team unfolded, I got Drake Bell, Devontae Freeman, who I really like. I got Matt Jones out of Washington, who I think is going to be a star as long as I can hold on to him until he starts playing. So yes, my plan going into the draft was to have 1 stud running back, and then I wanted to get all receivers. I wanted to get a quarterback late, preferably Bradford or Brady. But when Rodgers fell to me, it kind of threw my whole strategy off. And then my first pick, Balmus, in the first 2 weeks, I was like, I need somebody to start the first 2 weeks. That was my main objective.
You should have drafted Alfred Blue.
I should have, but somebody reached on him.
Some people reach on defense. Some
Yeah.
people reach on starting running back.
Yeah, but I like my team a lot. I dropped my 10th rounder already, Brian Quick, and I dropped my last 3 picks, which were Ertz, Latimer, and Reggie Wayne. I got Eddie Royal, Brandon Coleman, 2 sleepers I liked a lot. Nelson Aguilar in the 7th for the Eagles. He could be a superstar this year. I really wanted Bradford, and once I got Rodgers, I knew I wasn't getting Bradford, so I loaded up on those Eagles receivers to try to get a little piece of that game. I think Philly's going to have a huge year with Chip and Sammy B. If it's not Sammy B, then it'll be the Sanchez. And if it's not the Sanchez, they'll re-sign Tebow. Tebow will go fucking crazy.
How good is Tim Tebow?
I love Tim Tebow.
Why is he not on a team?
Because he's not very good at football.
He's awesome at football. He's not an amazing quarterback. But he's still a better football player than the 30th best quarterback.
He
That's
tries.
my
He
problem.
tries really hard.
He's nasty. he gets it done, and I don't say that about many people.
If he was going to do good anywhere, he'd be doing good in Philly. And Chip Kelly said
He did do
he's
good.
not good enough to play on this football team. But yeah, I love my team a lot. Definitely open to trades. If anybody's looking to trade, definitely open to trading Hyde, Allen Robinson, Aguilar, Drake Bell, Brandon Coleman. Pretty much anybody's not outside of my top 6 players.
Yeah, I won't trade you anybody good players. Anybody who's never proven themselves, you're welcome to exchange. Please, only solid talent. It's interesting.
Yeah, you heard it here first, baby.
Captain Curly.
Captain Curl's crew. Young on top and vets down below. A little note ahead next to his team there.
Can I say that's the greatest draft of all time?
It's a pretty good draft. OBJ up at the top. Beckham Jr., followed by Jeremy Hill, which a lot of people had pegged as a first rounder. Not me, but I know Troby was big on him. Mark Ingram, I never been big on him, but I think he is going to have a big year in New Orleans, being the main guy down there. Joseph Randle, I had pretty high on my draft board. The reports are he's hasn't really grabbed that job by the horns there, but Joseph Randle could be a superstar. He could be a top 5 running back, a la DeMarco Murray was last year. Andre Johnson, I'm expecting a big rejuvenance. Is that a word? Rejuvenance? Yeah. And then touchdown Tommy. I mean, free Brady. He's right next to me. He's free. He's out. He's cheating on Giselle.
In the 6th round, he got an upset Tom Brady.
Yeah.
This is why this is the best draft possible.
Touchdown Tommy, baby.
Brady's going to be a top 7 fantasy quarterback, but he's going to put up some really big weeks, and he's going to win you some weeks. There's a difference between guys who put up 18 points every week and the guy who puts up, 37, 42, 39, and then 22 because he hands it off to Jonas Gray one week. And yeah, you're going to lose that week. You're not going to win every week in fantasy football. You're looking for guys who are going to put together those who has exceptional ability. They always talk about how hard it is to score a touchdown in fantasy, in real football. There's a lot of guys who can catch passes. There's a lot of guys who can run the ball. But to be able to get that ball in over the goal line and catch touchdown passes is such a next level athletic ability or luck or skill or timing or whatever it takes. It's not easy to do. So for Tom Brady to be able to put up just a couple, fuck you weeks.
Well, players picked after Brady. I mean, Nelson Aguilar I took. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Allen Robinson I took, followed by Vincent Jackson, followed by Eli Man-Thing, followed by Martellus Bennett, followed by Tony Romo, Gio Bernard, and Mike Wallace. I mean, I had Brady head and shoulders way above any of those guys. So, to me, that was a pretty easy pick to make.
Just in terms of total points. You're going to put up 400 points with Brady, 370 points with Brady. With all those players, you're looking at 170, 200 points.
Well, I will say this that Eli and Romo were both very close to Brady in overall points last year, but I just think Tom's. I heard he's a little bit upset about something. I don't really know what.
It doesn't matter. It's whether Tom has wide receivers to throw it to, and I don't really love his wide receivers.
They're going to be running up the score on people. It's going to be 43 in the fourth quarter.
I don't believe the Pats weren't trying to run up the score last year, and I don't believe that Tom. I believe out of every single NFL quarterback, Tom Brady tries his hardest every Sunday.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that there's any motivating factor, except for the fact that that this all happened, and I'm with you that it did.
Yeah.
But this guy is just going to be as good as his teammates. Who is going to step up and do it? Because he's going to bring the pain.
The North remembers.
The North of Viva. Viva.
So yeah, hey Curls, good draft there.
ODB, we're going to see if that's a reach. I think Jeremy Hill is a very safe pick at the top of your draft.
Yeah, I don't think he would have came back to him.
I love it. Whatever. Get who you want. Get somebody you want.
Some guy to watch, that's for sure.
But I mean, no matter what, you chose the running back in a strong offense. But ODB, you're basing it on the 1 year. We're gonna have to make that decision. You pull the trigger once again. Maybe it's the guy you want to see. root for, or you really just believe the guy's going to just put up points. I think Eli's going to have as good a year. He's in the second year with the with his offensive coordinator. So this is the second year they work together. This is the second year in that offense. I kind of feel like Eli Manning's prime.
He's he could have a huge year. The thing with Eli is always the turnovers. But when he has weapons, he usually puts up good numbers. When he had Plaxico, he put up good numbers.
Yeah, I guess. Think about the division. I guess the Dallas last year really improved their offensive line.
Yeah.
But I don't think their defense was really stout.
It wasn't stout, but it was better than it has been.
I played them a couple times in fantasy, and actually I think it paid off for me just in terms of they put up a big week.
They get sacks,
but
they get turnovers,
exactly.
they get a lot of yards, they get a lot of touchdowns.
That's exactly, so I don't think that works against Eli too bad. The Eagles, I don't trust their offense, and especially no matter what, you're getting the ball back, so you're in a higher scoring game, just by definition.
Yeah.
The Redskins are so bad, I don't really trust that they're going to be able to move the ball on offense. So
I think the Redskins can probably be the worst team in football this year.
I don't believe the mess.
They're in a tough division. If the Eagles do good, and the
I would
Cowboys
say
play
the
good,
Redskins should lose every divisional game without question.
Yeah, they'll probably upset somebody or a couple
One time,
times.
right? But should the Redskins go 1-6, 1-5 in the division? I think so.
Yeah, they should.
They shouldn't be. You know what I mean? They should not beat each of those teams.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't beat either of those teams twice.
Mm.
So I think their best is 2-6, 2-4, but I don't think so. They're going to be 1-6, 1-5.
Yeah. Not good.
I think it'll be 0-6. I really don't even think they'll beat them because all of those teams, those three teams, I think, are three of the top 10 teams in all of football. So it sucks that they're going to beat up on each other that extra little bit. Hey, it is what it is. It's the way it's kind of always been. I always say as a Pats fan, the fact that they play in the AFC East works against them because they play against awful teams, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Bills, and the people who you play the most know you best. So the Pats get the Bills' best game. The Pats get the Jets' best game.
Yeah.
You all get to play the Jets. With that being said, it's still way better to play the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins than the NFC East year in and year out for the most part. Although I'm terrified of Miami's offense this year. I think they got Ndamukong Suh, and then I think they have all these weapons on offense. I really think this is the year. I think this is the year of the Dolphins. I'm a
Brady will
Pats
take
fan.
them. Move it along.
Yeah, sure. This is the year of the Dolphins. Is that
The fish.
the fish? Yeah, squid. Don't squish the fish.
Nicholtano was up next. C.J. Anderson, first-round pick. That was the guy who I had targeted, who I wanted to take with my first-round pick. I did have Le'Veon Bell as my number one overall player, though, so I couldn't pass him up. But I love me some C.J. Anderson this year. I think he's going to be a bell cow up in Denver. And running backs behind Peyton Manning always score a lot of fantasy points. They went with Calvin Johnson, Andre Ellington, Alfred Morris, Keenan Allen. Honestly, all four of those picks I'm not very impressed with. Calvin, down year last year, been trending down for a few years. If he does have a big year, that could be a steal, but not big on Johnson. Andre Ellington I liked a lot last year. They wanted to give him a lot of carries, 25 touches a game. He kind of wore down pretty quick when they were doing that. Exciting talent, more of a fourth, fifth round pick for me, not a third rounder. And Alfred Morris, I'm really hoping that he doesn't do good. And my boy, the rookie down there, I hope he does really good. Matt Jones, I think he's going to take that job from Alf this year. And then Keenan Allen, I think he could be good, but he had trouble getting in the end zone last year. But then after that, I think Latano ready to ship there. Jeremy Maclin, I'm expecting a big year out of. And then
I expect nothing out of Jeremy Maclin.
I love Sam Bradford in that 10th round there, or 8th round. Stafford ahead of that.
Perfect.
Well, you don't like Maclin, why not?
They don't throw touchdowns to wide receiver.
Because they don't have Jeremy Maclin.
No, because they don't have a real quarterback. What's harder to find in the National Football League, a wide receiver or quarterback?
It's hard to find as a quarterback.
Right.
Alex Smith.
Right.
Guy was an MVP candidate a couple years ago.
Right. And I actually loved him at the time.
Yeah.
And I don't begrudge
Third
him.
year under Andy Reid.
Don't begrudge him the
Big
amount
things.
of money that's made.
Big things.
Jeremy Maclin. going to produce less than he produced last year. Either way, 5th round pick or something. So
All right,
whatever,
board back.
stay healthy.
I got Jeremy Macklin.
Put it on the board.
You got your boy in Miami there.
Landry?
Yeah.
Landry versus Macklin,
Yeah.
total points?
Yep. Non-PPR. And our scoring.
In this scoring with
Yeah.
the first downs.
Yep.
So I get Landry's first down. You get Macklin's
Yeah.
first downs. Macklin's going to be a possession receiver.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Is Macklin's going to go for 10
I say
touchdowns?
Macklin outscores Landry.
I say Landry outscores Macklin.
All right. It's a bet.
It's a bet.
We don't have a board to put it on.
Shout out, Matt. Peace.
Who else you like on Latano's team here?
Yeah, C.J. Anderson, ninth pick overall, love it. Calvin Johnson, a little bit of a reach, but get who you want. So if you think he's going to be healthy, he's going to put up top 5 numbers. It's that simple. If you're worried about him being healthy, I don't think he's been healthy fully in the season since 2011, maybe 2012. Then you have somewhat of an issue to deal with. Very bland going down the way. Jeremy Macklin is 6th round. Yeah, great flyer for Jeremy Macklin in 6th round. Honestly, actually a great pick. I really don't trust him, but I've seen him going earlier and other things, and that's kind of what I was talking about before. Great, backed up. He has I think, a pretty safe quarterback scenario between Bradford and Stafford.
Yeah.
You play your matchups.
No, if that was my strategy, kind of going and getting to the quarterback, 8th, 9th, 10th.
I think the waiver wire is going to be important to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have tons of real upside guys. He has, like Reggie Bush. Like, you know what you're getting. Like, he's not. I don't think you have like a diamond in the rough kind of guy like you found on the waiver wire. All of a sudden, he's going to start for 15 weeks. With that, so hey, that's who you got in the 14th round. Who cares? It's perfect.
Tyler Eifert, good pick. Buffalo defense, though, 10th round.
But there's 12 tight ends. How high do you think Tyler Eifert's going to be?
I think he could be he has potentially top 5 tight end.
I guess. You really think he's going to be a top 5?
I don't think he's going to. I think he has potential too.
Okay.
I think he will be a top 10.
Okay.
I think he has a possibility of jumping up.
Yeah.
Ahead of a win.
But even actually being a top 10 tight end, because the way I figure it is, if there's 12 teams in the league,
there are a lot of talent. Got to stay healthy.
4 of the guys are going to have tight ends that aren't. 4 of the guys are going to have tight ends that are not top 12 tight ends. You know, like people just have guys who aren't ranked. There'll be a guy on a waiver wire at the end of the year who's the 6th ranked guy.
Yeah.
But nobody ever picked him up. So if you think Tyler Eifert is going to be a top 10 pick, then great pick. Good call. All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That's why we play the game.
I like him. I thought it was a good pick. Andre Williams, I think, could be a really good pick. You could take the reins down there in G-Man land. Dwayne Ball, I'm surprised he's still in the league. I heard he actually might get cut. I don't think he did. Hey, I think he is the number 1 receiver in Cleveland, but is that really a title you want to have?
Who's that? Andrew Hawkins?
Andrew Hawkins? He's on Cincinnati, isn't he?
He certainly could be. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm just trying to name who I would have thought
Cleveland?
who was the real number 1 receiver.
Yeah, I mean, it's Josh Gordon, but he's suspended all year. So.
Right. So who else? Yeah. Andrew Hawkins.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
And maybe you're right that this year it's going to be Dwayne Ball. We'll see. Johnny Football. Think Johnny Football does anything this year?
No.
You don't think
we'll fuck up somehow.
Who's the starting quarterback in Cleveland?
Josh McCown.
Josh McCown.
Former Bears backup superstar.
I haven't heard a peep out of Johnny Manziel since he got out of rehab.
Yeah, you're no fun on the
He doesn't do the money sign.
No.
I think Johnny Manziel will be. I think Johnny Manziel will finish the year a top 30 quarterback in points.
Man, I think you're crazy.
Put it on the ball.
All right, whatever you say, man. Johnny Manziel. I mean, hey, he's fun to watch, but I don't think he's long for the NFL. I think his talent is comparable to Tim Tebow, and Tebow's a much harder worker, much better leader.
I said Tebow should start. He sucks. But he still should start.
What do you think of Capozzi's team here?
Capozzi,
DeMarco Murray, Des Bryant, Russell Wilson, Emmanuel Sanders, LeGarrette Blount,
Stop when I don't love somebody.
Greg Olson, Tevin Coleman,
Don't
Ryan
love
Tannehill,
Love him.
Niall Davis.
Love
Yeah, Cody's big on Niall Davis this year.
Marcus
Got him
Wheaton,
in all
love
leagues.
it. David Cobb, love it.
Yeah. Well, David Cobb, I think, is hurt.
Whatever.
Something.
He's like a contributing factor to the Tennessee running back discussion in the 11th round. I'll take it. Antonio Gates, going to come back from suspension after 4 games. He was, what, the 3rd highest scoring tight end
He had a
last
resurgence
season?
this year.
Once again, on a week-to-week basis, that's what you want. I'd rather play somebody like Larry Donnell than Tyler Eifert, personally, because Larry Donnell 2 times a year is going to score 3 touchdowns. Tyler Eifert may get 40 yards for me a bunch of times, and at the end of the year, he might end up with more points than Larry Donnell, but Larry Donnell won me 2 weeks. And hey, some weeks you need 4. The first week he did it, but the second time he did it, which was only 1, he did it 1 week, then had a week with no points, and then did it. So if you rode it at all, you had to ride it more than 1 week. But if you rode it at all, it paid off for you, Larry Donnell. Over at least out of 2 weeks, you probably won your league just on that 1 week, or they gave you a 20-point boost, right? So yeah, no matter what. So either way, just saying, I like the Antonio Gates pick. I think he could have some touchdowns in a pretty safe offense. Like good weather. At the end of the year, you need to plug somebody in. You might play the tight end flyer game, but love it. I mean, DeMarco Murray, that's a big question mark. 10th pick in the draft. Gronk went after him. Julio Jones went after him. Andrew Luck went after him. Aaron Rodgers went after him. So at that point in time, it's how do you want to construct your team? And if you want a top running back, you have last year's #1 running back
going to the highest scoring team in football. Yeah.
So no brainer. Good job.
Capo's always been a kind of guy that gets a lot of quarterbacks a little later. He's been a quarterback hoarder in the past.
I feel that he's had Aaron Rodgers a couple times.
He has.
So I was worried in my pre-draft. I was worried about Capozzi.
I think he's gotten off that, but he'll draft 3 or 4 usually. And this year, he just had Wilson and Tannehill. So, he's got 2 top 10 quarterbacks in my opinion.
Love it, guy. He's going to be a monster. 38 touchdowns from Tannehill.
Yeah. And Des Bryant, it's tough to repeat last season, but as always, Capozzi, very well-rounded roster. Greg Olson, I was big on Olson this year. I really wanted to get him. He went a little early for me. Yeah. But
I actually feel his top 4 picks will all do worse than they did last year. And for some reason, I still like his team.
Yeah.
DeMarco Murray's not going to do that. Des Bryant's not going to do that. Russell Wilson's not going to do that. Emmanuel Sanders isn't going to do that. I think LeGarrette Blount is going to step up in New England this year and put up points. Whether he stays healthy for 16 games, who knows? That guy is going to be the guy. They dropped Gray, you said today or yesterday. There's White in the background.
And Bolden.
Brandon Bolden.
Yeah, I agree. I actually picked him up in this league. I might even start him week 1. Who knows?
And that's how you have to feel about starting any running back out of New England. You're never going to trust it 100%. So it is what it is. Like. He got that in the 5th round, but I feel he's going to overperform that expectation. I think he is going to be the guy who is the main guy. He's going to be the biggest guy since
Lawrence Maroney.
I'm thinking further back to the Cincinnati guy. Back when they last won the championships. What's his name? I'll think of it in 2 seconds.
Damn, that sucks. Don't smoke pot, kids.
Smoke pot. I would fucking not remember his name anyway. It's the guy who played football in 2005. I have better things to fucking have in my brain within 2 seconds now. And pot is awesome. But so overall, I think his team will underperform what it did last year and still be a very solid team. You give him one extra tool that he picks up with the waiver wires at the top.
Yeah. Or now Davis steps up, Charles gets hurt, and then
Marcus Wheaton these first 4 weeks. Really think that offense is going to be good. Do you think Ben Roethlisberger is going to have his way Thursday with the Pats secondary? I think so. Yeah. Don't you think that's going to be the biggest concern in New England on Friday? Is no longer Tom Brady. It's going to be the Pat secondary, and why didn't we keep Revis? Why didn't we, you know what I mean? Where's Browner? Where is Talib? These are the questions that are going to be bothering New Englanders on Friday. We may win the Super Bowl champ on that Thursday night. That crowd is going to be fire. Like I don't care.
Pretty Brady.
Like and no.
They'll be playing on that just a little bit.
Exactly. And no Martavis Bryant. Like
no Lev Bell.
No Lev Bell. So the Pats might pull that game out, but Roethlisberger is gonna be able to sling a little bit, and Marcus Wheaton's the guy who's gonna benefit off of Antonio Brown, especially in the Pats D, because they're gonna have to do something. They're gonna have to double Antonio Brown. I mean, that's gotta be all Belichick's thought about for the last 8 months. I don't think Belichick's thought one day about the Deflategate. I think all he's trying to figure out is how to stop Antonio Brown week one, and schematically and game plan for it. And the biggest problem at the beginning of the year is
they won't be able to do it.
You haven't seen what they've done, so you can't even take any knowledge, it's a new arrangement. So it should be a heck of a game, fun to watch. Emmanuel Sanders. I think Emmanuel Sanders is perfectly fine. I think all those guys perfectly fine.
Yep.
Russell Wilson gonna be perfectly fine.
Solid draft. These last 4 picks, I'm not big on. Terrence Williams, Brashard Perryman. I think he might be hurt. I don't know if he's starting the year playing or not.
I just don't know if he's a Raven.
Yeah, Terrence Williams. Hey, those are your late round flyers. Nothing wrong with those guys. They weren't kind enough on my team. Jets defense, I think should be good. Kicker, who gives a shit. But yeah, overall, Capozzi, solid draft.
And then we get to the worst draft.
Broseph Stalin. Well, you did all right, and we took a break during the 8th round, and then after the 8th round, I actually drew a line on my sheet here, Trophy. And all those picks after that line are very suspect and seem very unplanned, almost Kevin Flynn-esque.
Broseph Stalin, rounds 1 through 7. Broseph Stalin's 8 through 16.
Yeah.
No, 1 through 8, 9 through 16.
Yeah. So Broseph Stalin's a Gronk. Who doesn't like a Gronk, especially a party boy like Da. Demaryius Thomas, solid top 3 wide receiver in the 2nd round. It's a great pick. And then Melvin Gordon, a guy could be the next superstar, could be the next Lawrence Phillips, for all I know, who I heard murdered his cellmate in jail the other day. Just a little.
What school did Lawrence Phillips go to?
Nebraska Cornhusker.
Wow, you must be 34 years old.
Melvin Gordon and Mike Evans, guy could be a superstar in the making. Had a great year last year. I think it'll be tough for him to repeat that, but
Jameis.
Good 4th round value. And then C.J. Spiller. I don't know if he's just drafting him to try to trade him with Sal, or if he really likes him, or if Sal got into his ear and told him how good he was.
Doesn't Breeze has to throw to somebody?
Yeah, he's going to be throwing to Coleman, the rookie there, and Cookies.
Maybe.
And, so C.J. Spiller, Deshaun Jackson, a lot of boomer bust guys there, and then Matt Ryan and Anquan Bolden, first 8 picks. Not terrible, not oh my God, how did he get all those guys? But pretty solid for the first 8. But then after the break, he came back, and I believe he had the 11th pick in that round. But it came to him, and he kind of froze up. He took Roddy White, who I'm not sure is still playing. I hear he is, but I'm not positive. And then McFadden, which actually could be a good pick. Followed by Kaepernick, Sproles, Halou, Rudolph, and then a kicker and a defense. But that Roddy White and Sproles and Halou pick, I think, were not his best. He was kind of giggling as he was doing it. He looked a little distracted. He was kind of checking Kevin out. DA's big comment during the draft, whenever anybody took a player, was, "Who's throwing him the ball? Who's his quarterback?" And Kevin didn't know the answer to that question every time, but what do you think your Aches team? A lot of boomer bust guys, which, like you said, going to some weeks.
Yeah, that's right. I think he kind of filled out his roster. There's a lot of guys. There's really Demaryius Thomas, right there in the 2nd round. I think that locked something up, but all question marks to me. Gronk, can he repeat the health 2 years in a row? When he plays football, he numerically, the number 1 tight end. So My issue with going that high in tight end in the first round was the difference in points. I think that last year Gronk ended the year with about 50 points more than the second tight end. And then the second tight end was within 50 points of like the 11th tight end.
Yeah.
So last year, especially in particular, there wasn't that, like Julius Thomas kind of let people down after that week 1 explosion, or week 2 explosion. And there wasn't that huge second tier that Jimmy Graham, was hurt. So there wasn't that second tier of tight end. If he's healthy, it could be worth it. And he's such a fun player to cheer for and want on your fantasy football team that I'm all for it. If you're just a Gronk guy,
Gronk spike,
like that's worth for especially when you have the 11th pick and then you get the 14th pick.
Right? Hey, this guy last year he took Le'Veon Bell and DeMarco Murray like in the 4th or 5th round. I remember laughing at him then. And he was definitely laughing at me at the end of the year.
Call your shots with who you want. So if you're sick of people throwing up tight ends,
Melvin Gordon, C.J. Spiller, those could be those guys for him this year. And,
but I'm not a Washington guy, but maybe Deshaun Jackson has to score 6 touchdowns. I don't know, But probably a weaker end of the draft. But you pick up 1 or 2 guys, somebody gets hurt, and a role gets shifted. Guy was in the championship last year. What can you say? He's better than every single one of you people in the league. So, watch what he does, and try to do better because he made it all the way to the championship game.
Yeah. Well. And that's going to do it for our draft wrap up here. Thank you all for watching.
No, there was one other team that had to be reviewed.
You win, Pats win. Duh.
Oh yeah, because we just talked about the guy who beat all of you. Now we're going to talk about the guy who beat everybody. Pats win. I win. Pats win. Duh.
What did you think of your draft? I was actually pretty impressed with your draft, like a lot of guys in your team.
Yeah, love my draft. Didn't think I would. I really just felt. I felt in our league with the half point first down, the number one position to consider was wide receiver.
Yeah.
Out of the pick of the litter, you got to call your shot. It is what it is. I wanted to put my stones with Julio Jones. Got him with the 12th pick. Was very excited, and then locked up a top 2 quarterback in fantasy football. And with all of Aaron Rodgers' question marks, it wasn't even a question for me. I wanted the guy who's going to have Andre Johnson's breakout year. I wanted the guy with the 3rd year, I think, of T.Y. Hilton, if not the 4th year, with Frank Gore running the ball. I think that offense is going to be only stronger. The Indianapolis Colts are, an amazing regular season organization. They can't get against the Patriots in the playoffs, but that's not what our sport is. 2 years ago, I wanted to draft Andrew Luck. Last year, Ricky drafted Andrew Luck, and he caught the year that Luck exploded, and it was a heck of a ride, and I think it's going to be that way for the next 12 years. Yeah. 10 years, exactly, however long. I don't have to sign a long-term contract. This isn't Major League Baseball. But that's my guy. I'm definitely taking him this year. So I love that pick at, the 2nd round. Definitely terrified at what running backs I was going to get, but I didn't like at all that second tier of running backs, the Latavius Murrays and the Doug Martins. I don't trust those guys any more than who I got. I got Lamar Miller. Then I went T.J. Yeldon. I think Denard Spawn's going to do, or Denard Robinson's going to be, pretty good on Jacksonville. But I think this kid's going to work his way in there, and if he can stay healthy, they're saying he's working all 3 downs. And Denard Spawn might get, is going to be an explosive player, but I think his offense is going to be a little bit better than it was, and I've kind of just, he's a value pick. I got T.J. Yeldon in the 6th round. Before that, I locked up Julio Jones, Randall Cobb, Jarvis Landry, as my wide receiver. So I feel I hit a bye week. I'm going to have a solid plug-in to give me some points. Yeah,
I feel like you have the weakest top-end running backs, but you have 10 running backs in all. So you just need a couple of those guys to pop, and I think Lamar Miller has potential to be a top 10 running back easily. I think he was a top 10 running back last year. You got a rookie in Yeldon, and then you got a bunch of kind of flyer guys, but all I need is one of those guys to do good. And Alfred Blue, Fred Jackson, who doesn't have a team right now. I think he's going to end up in Seattle, which could be a complimentary role to Lynch. If Lynch went down, he could be good.
Maybe for.
And then you got the Charles Sims, Kyrie Robinson, Curtis Artis Payne, who I kind of like a lot. Is a nice lead on flyer. Talia Farrow and Monte Ball, who was recently released. But you definitely
I got to pick up a kicker.
You
right?
got some depth there. So
give me that lotto.
Your top
kicker.
end guys. You got Julio Jones and Randall Cobb, 2 top 10 wide receivers.
Fantasy football is
Landry, who's a guy you're big on.
Fantasy football is putting points up every week, right?
Yep.
Like that's what it is. It's I hate losing. 2 years ago, I lost against Jake. We were 1-2 in the league. He was 1, I was 2. I was 1 game behind him. I was all set to catch him and pass him. And it's about week 11, so it's actually somewhat a realistic representation of what the year looked like. We played each other head to head, week 11, and we both scored the lowest points in the league. So we're the top 2 teams, 2 or 3 games ahead of anyone else.
70s or something.
Not even. I scored 55, and he might have scored 71, and I scored 55. I mean, it was the most disappointing week, and then I won the next week, but I could never catch up to him. I finished second that year in the regular season. And it's, how can you get that kind of consistency in fantasy football with the upside? It's weighing the two. Obviously, we all feel about our guys that those are the guys who are going to, put that through. So, I know I had fun kind of getting together as a group, having a live draft, no matter what. I love the whose rule was it that we keep in the snake draft?
Sal. Sal's rule to keep it a snake.
Shout out to Sal to keep it a snake.
Auction.
I'm in another auction league, and I think if I ever were to form a league, I would force them to do an auction league. But there's nothing like a snake draft, and to keep it old school is awesome. I'm as enthused about this fantasy league as I am about any of my sports fantasy leagues, especially after having won it. So, I'm very much looking forward to this year.
Yeah, great year. Season starts this week.
I had one fantasy name sent to me via text today that I need to read off to you guys.
Again, thanks everybody that showed up for the draft. I see 100% participation again one of these years, but thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. We'll be doing some more weekly updates, kind of the style, maybe just audio. Definitely will not be this long. Definitely a little longer than we thought, but
I told him to talk fast. He didn't get
we
it.
wanted to.
I tried to coach him up.
We wanted to make sure we talk about everybody's team. Maybe we can break it up by each team, so you guys can just watch your thing instead of watching the whole hour. But thanks for watching. And what's your team name you got there, buddy?
Team name. So this is the team name. I touched down there.
Lock it up, guy.
Championship.